This is a heifer, a first time calving cow, and her back foot is incredibly sore. I'm fairly certain it's a flesh eating disorder called digital dermatitis, but in this case, it's an extreme one. You're watching the Hoof GP and a very, very sore cow. By the way, all that noise in the background is a bunch of calves because I think they're getting fed and they're not being served as quickly as they would like. Right, look at this. Just look at the state of that. This is dermatitis at its finest, or worst, depending on how you look at it. It's actually an infection that completely overcomes the tissues within a cow's foot, but it's not just on the surface of the skin, which is sometimes when people treat it, which makes it much, much worse than it first seems. So as we begin to wash all of the loose manure off of this cow's hoof, you can see that it begins to bleed. Just the water touching it is enough to aggravate it. This is easily one of the sorest conditions a cow can have in her feet. Right, so what we're going to do right now is dab that just now. Look right up in there. Just look at the state of that. Imagine having something the size of that on your foot. And you have to walk around barefooted with that touching the ground with every single step. But not only that, you also weigh around 1,100 pounds. 500 kilos. Right. We're actually going to completely ignore that problem right now and move on with the other task that's in hand. So as we lift the paddle up here, something begins to happen that has never happened to me before. Blood literally begins to spray out of her foot. I've never ever seen this happen in a case of dermatitis. This is a serious one. I actually asked Kev off camera as well if he'd ever seen it, and no, never. I wouldn't usually keep something quite as graphic as that in a video, but I think it's really important to show just how advanced digital dermatitis can become. To imagine the level of pain this cow will be going through, just imagine if you've ever broken or peeled back some skin when you've had a blood blister or something like that and it's open to the raw air elements. Well, this cow is standing in manure with exactly that times 100. We're working in a very loud and noisy environment today, and usually when I film like this, I would cover this kind of noise up with music, but let's just say in the last video, one or two of you weren't too happy that I'd done that. I'm constantly changing the blue roll and placing it on top of the problem area to try to stop the flow of blood. Whenever I finally do treat this problem with a topical solution of iodine or salicylic acid or something like that, I don't want the blood to dilute that product. I want it to be as strong as possible to give it every chance of curing and killing that digital dermatitis lesion. The space up in between a cow's hoofs is called the interdigital space, and I've tried to open it up as much as I possibly can to encourage slurry and manure away from the area.
Ready?
Yep, still not getting a raise. To be fair, Kev is right, we are going to need a lot of salicylic acid in this case. We're using Repiderma, this green slimy spray that sticks fantastically well to cows' feet, and what's good about it is the cow doesn't detect it on her foot because it doesn't really aggravate the problem. So all of the ingredients within the spray absorb right into the skin, then this salicylic acid will kill the outer layers of the dermis, which contain even more of the treponema virus that is digital dermatitis. Look at this, what a beautiful wrap job. So this is slightly different from what we normally see. Kev's used the whole entire bandage. because he doesn't care about cost to the Hoof GP.
No, I care about the cow.
And rightly so, because we do want to limit the amount of dirt and manure that can get into it. It won't completely stop all manure and bacteria getting in there, but it really will limit it. Right, we're going to quickly trim the other 3 feet and let her go.
Right, now for the technical bit. Concentrate now, Graham. Digital dermatitis is a treponema virus caused by a spirochete. A spirochete is a very specific type of bacteria that, as the name would suggest, corkscrews its way into the corium of a cow's foot. Any soft tissue or breaks in the skin can really open themselves up to the abuse brought on by these spirochetes. This virus or bacteria is present on an absolutely colossal amount of farms around the world. Farmers do try to control it, and this one especially is doing everything he can to stop its onslaught. They foot bath cows' feet, they wash the floors that they walk on, they treat them topically, and they even inject them with antibiotics on occasion. This is a huge problem throughout the world for these cows, and unfortunately there has not yet been a vaccination found for it. It's easily one of the most painful afflictions a cow can have on her feet.
As we drop our feet here, you're about to see her exit the crush. And make no mistake about it, we will not have taken any pain away from this cow today. But over the coming days, the coming weeks, that lesion will completely heal up. We'll be back here in 4 weeks' time to visit cow. That cow doesn't have a number, but we will be back here to visit her in 4 weeks' time. And if you want to see the results and the difference we've made today in just a short few minutes, then subscribe to this channel. See you then, if you've subscribed.